Good evening and welcome. Good evening and welcome. And how are you? Well, there's a few sad people in here tonight, isn't there? People who don't want to watch the football. Steve Pace, Adam Hudson, Jamie Puller, Graham Allison, Steve Morton, and Tracy Dodds. I bet Tracy has got the football on in the background. It's not about winning, it's about taking part. As Scotland. They're 1-0 up, aren't they? 1-0 up. Can anyone give me any input? I've had to switch the telly off to get ready to go live. Please keep me informed. I've got a bet on. Scotland win the football. Talk about back the underdog. But like I said, it's not all about winning. It's about taking part. So good evening. Nigel Moore's in the house. Tim Weston's in the house. Sue's in the house as well. She's not even watching Scotland. I can't believe it. So, what did I mean? What did I mean when I said real dog training is not all about the happy ending? Sounds like a Chinese massage, doesn't it? Borrowed your Thomas Paine quote today. He who dares not offend can't be honest. There you go, Jay Bird. You're right, aren't you? But real dog training is not all about the happy ending. It's more about the journey. So, what made me come up with that shite? Well, you get so many people on the internet putting up polished dogs, but not telling the journey that they've been on to get there. And each dog is different, isn't it? And it's all about the journey. You learn far more by struggling and learning to get over your problems than having a perfect dog and everything going right. And I think that's what it's about when you think about it. It's about enjoying that journey and learning and watching the dog learn, watching the dog grow. And I was thinking to myself, it's great to watch a dog working well, doing what you ask it to do, and it looking good and everything going right. But is that where people learn from? People who are struggling in different areas, and so many people are struggling in different areas. It's so easy to put up that dog that's looking good. And that's the same with criticism, isn't it? It's so easy to give criticism, but constructive criticism is giving someone the tools to put it right. Giving your opinion. It's only your opinion. It doesn't mean you're right. But if you trained thousands and thousands of dogs and thousands of people and got success, then you have a firmer understanding and you have more confidence in yourself that you've seen those problems and you can get over those problems. It's not all gasometry then, is it? And yet you get all these so-called overnight dog trainers, gun dog trainers, giving all this advice out without actually showing them actually schooling the dog or helping the client. And where are they out there? Where are they out there on the internet? Now, I've come on here tonight, live feed. I'd like to talk about dog training. I know you're going to pull me down a different alley. I know that you can pull me up. At the moment, I'm on a guessing game at the moment. That's the wife in the corner. She's got me on a different. She said, you keep making this strange noise and it becomes habit forming and you don't even know you're doing it. So I said, tell me the noise. She said, when you make it, I'll tell you. Now, this has gone on for how many days, Sue? I'd hate to exaggerate.
One.
Oh, one. It's two. It's 2 days. It's one night and 1 day. That's 2 days, isn't it? And I've said, well, let me know when I make this noise. She said, I don't even think you know you make the noise because I think it's become habit forming. So I said, when do I make the noise? She says, when you're frustrated or angry or cheesed off. Oh, that's very rare, isn't it? That's very rare. I can't see what she's making a freaking fuss over nothing. Hey, why cry over spilt milk? She can't even replicate the noise I'm making to enlighten me and tell me what I'm doing wrong. Now, I have to watch people's videos. And when I watch people's videos, I have to give an appraisal, and it's constructive criticism. It's not negative, oh, that's crap, that's crap. It's like, we'll just change this a little bit, but if that's what you want, I can understand why you want that. I think Adam made a good point about a video I critiqued today and put up. He said, I'd be over the moon if that was my dog. And that dog is doing the job that the owner wants it to do. There's always a compromise. There's always a compromise in life, honestly. Because all I want Sue to do, Adam, is tell me what freaking noise I'm making so I know not to make it. But they have to make it more difficult, don't they? They have to play this psychological game with you. So for the last 2 days, well, only a day, she said, but for the last 2 days, I've been thinking, what freaking noise am I making to cheese her off? That's making such a freaking problem in our relationship that she felt she needed to come up with it.
No, you were saying something that doesn't cheese me off. I just said you make a funny noise.
So it's a funny noise now. It was an annoying noise earlier.
No,
It's not annoying. It's funny now. It's a funny noise. So when I'm angry, I make a funny noise, right? Is that really a problem? Is that really a problem?
it is when you're sat in the same room.
Oh, it is when you're sat in the same room. Honestly, I watched a program the other day where it was a program, and they took a quarter of the brain away from this person, right, who was having fits. It was a film, but it was a true story. And I thought to myself, shit, it's amazing what you can do when you take some of the brain away, isn't it? But it depends how much brain you've got to start with, doesn't it? Now, the simple thing for me, I mean, please help me here, somebody. Good evening, Jules. Please help me here. If I was doing something that was annoying you, why don't you tell me what I was doing that was annoying you, and then I could stop doing it? But if you say you're making this noise, but I'm not going to tell you what noise it is until you make it, then I'll remind you. It's now doing my brain in, because my brain is pea-sized. It's not very big. It retains the important things in life, not what upset Sue. Well, it didn't upset her. It was funny. Oh no, it did upset her. You didn't have to live with it. So I'm still waiting. I'm on live, and it's back to that thing, isn't it? What happened during the day or what's happened during the week? You're like, it's in my head. Well, in one way, I'm trying to watch the Scotland match, but I can't watch the Scotland match. I've had to switch it off. Anybody got the score yet? Is it still 1-0? Don't get angry. Remember the Incredible Hulk. He went green, didn't he? Didn't he go green? Did he rip his clothes off? No, I don't think I was angry. She says, I don't think she said it was when I was angry, when I'm frustrated.
No, fed up, I said.
Ah, grunting in bed. When I'm fed up. Yeah, where is it, sir? Is it in bed?
No.
No, I'm happy in bed. I'm happy in bed on my own, away from everyone. So when is it, Sue? Let's have this debate. Honestly, she could be my psychiatrist, couldn't she? Sue, when do I let this verbal cue out that you don't quite understand?
When you're like fed up, or...
Oh, she now knows when I'm fed up. Get Robert back in the group. We will hear the noise in no time. Yeah, exactly. So the thing is, I'm thinking tonight, would it be great to just go on here and talk about dog training, and not one freaking question, and I'm 10 minutes into it, although I've directed it in a different direction to try and get me head back on track. Please ask me some dog training questions. Tracy Dodds, please save my life. Please, Tracy, have you ever heard me making noises that you think there's something wrong with your head? A lot of people have warned me about making noises. Anyway, I've still got man flu. I'm still a little bit croaky in the voice, so you'll have to bear with me. Perhaps I've been coughing, and it's drove freaking mental. What's the earliest you've ever? I fucking thank God someone's in here asking dog training questions. What's the earliest you've ever put a stop on a dog? 6 months. 6 months of age? I would say the earliest. Why did I do that? Tracy.
Good answer.
Sue said, good answer, Tracy. What's the earliest you ever put a stop on a dog? 6 months, I said. Average 12 months. Steve's getting worried about his Labrador. Hey. Different kettle of fish, aren't they? Labradors, aren't they? Hey. I think the lab of mine will be getting it soon. Steve, give us an SP. How old is he now then, Steve? How old is he? Don't forget, Steve, you are getting older. And as you get older, perhaps you need to put the stop on these dogs a little bit sooner. But one of the things I like is I like drive in a dog because I can turn the drive up and down. But it's easier to turn it down than it is to turn it up if you suppress the dog from the start. Look, 5 months and bags of drive. Look at that, Steve. 5 months and bags of drive. Have you put any discipline into the dog at all at the moment, Steve? Any discipline, Steve? It's interesting. It's interesting, isn't it, eh? This is what we should be talking about, dog training. We shouldn't be talking about rubbish about the noise I'm making, and Sue can't even tell me what the noise is. Has anybody else noticed any certain noises I make on here that you think, shit, that's annoying? I did notice I was chewing on my lip the other week and watching it back thinking, shit, I look like I'm fucking munching on my lip. I've only just put the magic lead on him today. See there? I mean, look at this, look. 5 months old, and he's not give it no discipline. And there he's got drive. But what he's seeing is the true dog because he's not suppressed it. He's seeing the true nature of the dog because he's not suppressed it. At the point you go, right, okay, I see enough drive in this dog. Let's take that dog that was in the rabbit pen. Did you watch the rabbit pen video this week? Did you see how that young dog had come up the gears? Although the tail hadn't gone down, how the dog had worked out how to actually peg rabbits. Now, it wasn't harming the rabbits, but it was worked out already in that short period of time how to get onto a rabbit. That's how clever they are. And the skill is knowing when to put the control into the dog. Yeah, Adam says, I like this. I like this, Adam. Steve, trust the system and let it go wild. I don't think you need a Labrador to go completely wild, but I still think you can bring the drive and control it easier than turning the drive up. So you've got the advantage there, Steve. And what's the reason that I put the stop on the dog, the controlling of the dog, at 6 months of age? Because I trained it for a bloke who could hardly walk and had to use a quad. And so the dog didn't need that extra drive. But the dog came not from a gun dog background. It came from the Blind Dog Association, right? So first I had to get it glasses and teach it to read. Blind Dog Association, get it? It's a joke. Someone will freaking guess what he said. I do, Adam, but I think he's got massive drive and desire. Oh, Steve, give us a freaking video.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Sue was going to say that. Put a video up. We need to see this before you put the brakes on it. What does Soul think of it? That's what I want to know, Steve. What does Soul think of it? Is it running with pointers? That might be an indication of madness. Anyway, who's watching football? What score is it? Spaniel, Steve, panicking about a Labrador. The tables have turned. Exactly. Oh, Soul's not seen him yet. Oh, freaking Jesus. It's quite quiet at the moment, isn't it? Actually, 1-1. One-on-one. No, Nigel. No, Nigel. Please. Oh, no. Not panicking, just asking. There you go. That's what I want to hear. Just asking. Yeah. I find that I want that dog to run straight and hard. And it's really important at that early age that that dog has got the confidence to get out there. And I've seen exactly what you're saying, Steve, with the video I saw a few months ago of the little dog. Determination in that dog is great. Don't get touchy, Steve. Ooh. Ooh, I'm going to fight on here now. Is that the noise I make, Sue? Ooh. No, that's ghost looking at it. Yeah, she's still not going to tell me the noise. I thought she'd do it live. I thought she'd say farting.
I'm sure you'll do it before I go back to her.
Farting. Yeah, I've been a little bit quiet the last week and a bit because Sue's been off for 2 weeks. So we've been having, what do you call it, time? What do you call it?
Downtime.
Downtime, is that what you call it? Freaking feeling down. She said downtime.
That's probably why you're making those noises.
Probably why I'm making noises. It's only happened the last week and a half. She's still got another 3 days off yet. 5. Oh, shit. Honestly, it's hard work, isn't it? Hard work, isn't it, eh? It's bloody hard work. You can't do nothing right. Can't do nothing right. I think listen, she works hard. I work hard. We've got to have a little bit of time together. Well, her time together is let's go in the garden. Let's freaking dig the freaking garden up. Let's go plant some freaking plants. I mean, look at the hands. They're like workman's hands. I mean, dog trainers have got soft hands when they use raised leather leash. In all seriousness, this is never going to be freaking serious. Seriousness. In all seriousness, I feel like I've put a stop on my yellow lap too soon. He has lost a bit of confidence. So I'm out with the doggy launcher, building drive and control. Drive and control. Why are you just building drive and desire if he's lost some confidence? Why are you building control? This is it.
In all seriousness.
In all seriousness, it's coming out now, isn't it? In all seriousness. That's the first freaking time I've ever known him to be serious. But he's even adding to that, there's nuts on the end of it.
He's had to put seriousness, meaning I'm not joking this time, guys.
Yeah, he's not joking. Oh, it was supposed to say drive and not control. Yeah. Yeah, well, that's what I was trying to work out, Adam. In all seriousness. I'm glad that you reached out and helped a fellow Corleone member rehome his Mally. Is it Mally's got? Oh, I missed the not out. In all seriousness, freaking hell! Sounds like Loch Ness. Right, yeah, I'm with you now. I'm back on track. That's it. Yeah, with Mally. Yeah, that's it. And I think good on everybody for helping, reaching out, Mally stroke German Shepherd. This is it. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I thought it was. And good on Karen for actually making that decision. And it's not easy decision, is it? But thinking about the dog, thinking about the family, and not looking to sell it, but the importance of getting it the right home. And that's it, Adam. And it's great to have those contacts, isn't it? That people can reach out and put him onto someone who's going to give the dog a great home and is going to be have a great life. And that's what it's about, isn't it? And you've got to, sometimes you rush into these things and they seem a great idea at the time. And then, things can become too challenging, you got too much on your plate and you've got to make that decision. And it's not an easy decision. But I think, and I don't know the full story, but I think what I read and what I heard, I just take my hat off to everybody who reached out to try and help him, gave him support, and found the dog a new home. And that's wonderful. That's wonderful. That's the Corleone family. And that's what my dream was years and years ago, is to have a network of people out there, life-changing, and priorities change. For credit to Karen for handling it like he did. Yeah, exactly, Adam. Exactly. And you see this stuff, don't you? Dog for sale, only to forever homes. Nobody knows what's around the corner, do they? Nobody knows what's going to happen next week. Things can change, don't they? Life can change, things can change. And no one, I don't think, it's the same with kids, isn't it? You get into a relationship, you get married, in all intentions, most people would want that marriage to last, wouldn't they? They don't always last, do they? Who keeps the dog? Who keeps the children? Do you have regular contact with your kids? Do you get to see the dog that you've known for 5, 6, 7 years? Things can change, can't they? And at the end of the day, no one can guarantee anything in life, can they? Because you just don't know what's around the corner. Oh, it's me getting philosophical again. I just want to know what that freaking noise is that I keep making, that she's accusing me of in the background, that I've not made yet tonight. Oh, fucking hell. Is that it?
Nope.
All right, that's not it either. I don't know what it is. It does your freaking head in, isn't it? It's like, did you hear yourself last night? When you were asleep? How the fuck can I hear myself when I'm asleep?
Tracy's got another Labrador puppy.
Oh, no, Trace. Trace. Is he all white? Or just a little bit? Is he all white? Or just a little bit? Shut up, Upton, you idiot. Is that right, Trace? Sue couldn't handle Mally. She couldn't handle it, just a little. Sue couldn't handle a Mally. Sue might rehope you for making that noise. What she might take on a Mally. Yeah, right. Well done, Tracy. I can't wait to see the videos. Let's have some videos. I want this dog running straight lines and not coming off a straight line. I want it a mile down a track, Trace, before it's 4 months of age. I want nothing else other than straight lines. I watched a video today, funny enough. I think it's on the Field Sports or on one of the channels, Gundog channel or something, Gundog TV or something. And he was talking about getting the dog to run the straight line. And he'd put a stick out in the field and he put the dummy near the stick in the field. And he sent the dog out on that imaginary straight line. The dogs went straight out to the stick, picked the retrieve. And said, the thing is, when you're pushing the dog across the field, and it's a cover crop, when you line the dog up, make sure you line it up every time without fail in exactly the same position. And if that dog comes off that line, you've got to blow that stop whistle and put the dog back on that line. There's nothing new with that, is there? There's absolutely nothing new with that. And I'm thinking, well, how many people have taught you that? How many people in the Labrador world know that? What they're not telling you is what to do when the dog runs off the straight line in the real world. And I live in the real world and I see it. And I think to myself, it's easy, isn't it? Lining a dog up to run 30 feet in a straight line to a stick in the field with a dummy at the bottom of it. And that's why I say it's so important if you're putting out retrieves for Labradors and you want them to run the straight line and not start thinking for themselves, that you want to put the sticks out. You want to put the retrieves where the stick is. So when you walk back and get the dog and bring it out for that blind, you know exactly where the dummy is. Because if you put out 2 or 3 blinds and you put them in an area and then you go back and get the dog and you've moved away from the mark, what you've marked it as, and you've gone and put out another 2 dummies, by the time you come back and send the dog for the first retrieve, you haven't got a good idea if it's in cover crop or long grass where the retrieve is. You've missed the mark. And it's so important that when you go lost or there, the dog drops its head and finds when you say that. Because if you don't condition the dog that way, and the dog then starts to, he's missed the mark, he doesn't know the mark, it's a blind, you can't judge where it is, and you're going there, last, all around the field, you're telling your dog to put its head down and hunt. And you're making the dog think for itself. And that's when you come unstuck, when these straight line dogs are trained to run straight line and straight lines only to begin with in their life, because it's about conditioning. Would you say that you need a lab to be more handler reliant than you would train a spaniel? I think it's a good question, Steve. But Adam, I agree with what Adam says on that video today. He actually said, that's a lovely dog. And in the shooting field, that dog's going to do his job. And he is. He's thinking for himself when he needs to. I think the handler is putting too much into the dog and he needs to go back and get the basics right more. But the dog is thinking for itself, and you want a thinking dog working in the field as a working dog in the field. If you've got your straight line dogs, you don't want them coming off that straight line till you tell them to put your head down and start hunting. But you can't be asking them to hunt in a vast area, else you're going to condition them to put their head down and hunt. Shit, I'm well late. Evening all. Chris, can you start over? Yeah. Harry, just for you. We're going to start all over again. 27 minutes down the line. Here we go. Good evening, everyone. Chris Upton here. Nice to hit you. Oh, Harry, why the frickin' hell are you late? Everyone else is enjoying it. They're not watching Scotland. I'm not watching Scotland. Come on here, Harry. What's the score now with Scotland? I got 2-1 for Scotland to win. Could you please tell me? 1-1. 1-1. See, Harry? We know you lot, didn't you? You're watching the frigging football and got half an eye on me. Hey? Half a freaking eye on me. With Scotland, it's not about winning. It's about taking part. So it's not about winning with Scotland. It's about taking part. Did you see that thing? They had it on the telly. They asked the Scottish fans out there, if you could get to the final and play against England but lose or go home early, like would you rather take your chances? And they went, I'd rather take our chances. They wouldn't want to get to the final and play England but know that they're going to lose. It would be too much for them. How sad, isn't it, when it comes to sort of rivalry, isn't it?
Snowflake.
You think you'd go, yeah, we've never been in the final. Love to get to the final.
Beat England.
No, didn't say they beat England. I said the commentator said to them, would you accept getting to the final with England in the final? Would you really enjoy doing that, or would you rather just take your chances as they are? And they went, no, take your chances as they are. We don't want to be playing England in the final.
They know they lose.
Because they know they'd lose. Stop it, Susan. We've got Scottish people in here, Sue. Or they're related to Scottish people. They're from India. Anyway, you have ruined it now. Ruined what? All right. Fucking Harry. Yeah, thank God for that. Yeah, Harry ruined it, isn't he? We were on a roll, weren't we, Adam? We were on a roll. And now it's all freaking gone backwards, isn't it? Because of Harry.
Labrador straight line. Not having a mountain. Unless you.
Yeah, Sue's on it now, look. Sue's on it now. Labrador straight line, not having a munching. So it's like I watched. Oh, don't worry, Harry. Honestly, mate. We were all talking about Harry, and then he has to come in and we had to stop. That Adam Hudson, he's a freaking troublemaker, isn't he? Harry's our main man on a Wednesday night. No, Saturday, Sunday night. Sunday night. Yeah, so anyway, one of the things I did notice in that video, his dog is quite lackadaisical, quite slow, and looking around when he's got the retrieve rather than racing back in quick, and cocking his leg, peeing. And it's frustrating when you get a dog like that, a dog that, you know, wants to drop, cock its leg. At the end of the day, in competition, you're going to get knocked if a dog stops and keeps cocking its leg. As a gun dog in the field, does it really bother you? Well, it would bother me because I just want the dog to be really keen to get that retrieve out and get that retrieve back into me. Then he can cock his leg if he wants to. And I was judging once, and the bloke's dog stopped and had a shit. And he turned to me and said, "Are you going to knock me for that?" I says, "No, you got to go. You got to go." But that's a completely different thing than a dog cocking its leg on a regular basis. But I think that if you don't put the control in the dog too soon, and that's what Steve was on about, asking that question with the drive, I'd rather have dropped. Oh, freaking hell, he's here now, Kieran Evans. Look, we've talked about him all night, haven't we? Anyway, he's late. Another one. 10 press-ups. You and Harry together now. Evening, Sue. I think that if you don't suppress and put the control in the dog too soon, you create the drive and the desire, and I don't think they've got a tendency to cock their freaking leg on the way back in or be looking in the other direction, because you create drive and desire. But I don't think that that's 100% positive with every dog. But I think on the odd occasion, you can get some freaking strange trait, even from your own lines, even from quality champion to champion. You can sometimes get a sort of stubborn natured dog that's just not got that focus. And if you think about it, that's exactly the same as kids in class. Some looking out the window, dreaming about leaving the class because they ate it. The game's too much fun for them to think about cocking their legs. Yes, Steve, I agree. And that's why I think the importance of the way the Corleone way is, build the drive, build the desire. You can put the control, the brakes on the drive and desire, but it's difficult to build drive and desire if you've suppressed it before you've got the drive and desire out the dog. You not get the same drive and desire in there. My spaniel doesn't stop to have a shit or a posh. He's freaking drinking. He's drunk tonight, so ain't he?
Or he's bought.
He's posh, is he? He's a posh boy. Or a posh, pish, posh, pish. If we are working, he just carries on and does his business on the move. Yeah. Yeah, Sue does the same thing. She cannot stand still. She cannot stand still. If she's in the garden and she's doing some weeding, she's got to go. She's got to go out. There's no stopping her.
How many times I've seen dogs do that though? They're just still going and running in peel.
Can't falter. That's it, Adam. You can't. If you create drive, then you don't have to clean up after her because it's like a muck spreader. Anyways, it's just natural, isn't it? The garden, natural. I'm trying to get her to do naked gardening. I'm trying to film it because I've noticed that on this internet stuff, there's a lot of people making a lot of money with naked shows, isn't there? And I'm trying to get Sue to do some naked gardening. I've offered to help, and I've offered to sort of get her over lacking confidence about people. I told her people will love it. People will love it. And I've promised that I'm quite happy to strip off bollock naked and freaking join her behind the camera. But I'll be the other side of the camera. She'll be that side of the camera. I think it could go down a storm. I mean, I know she's older, but come on. Would you cover your eyes? Come on, tell me. There's 17 people in here. Would you cover your eyes or would you look?
They do not need to answer.
You don't need to answer, says Susan. You don't answer. She won't even come on live feed. I haven't got a chance.
I'm no Toya Wilcox.
She's no Toya Wilcox. Oh my God, she's talking about freaking Toya Wilcox.
Well, she bounces around like mad, don't she?
So what happened here? Anyway, thanks, Adam. Oh, you, sir, forever in your debt. And if Rob Saul is in the house, it wasn't that I didn't think he could handle the dog. I know he could have. Just didn't want him put in with other dogs and chaos emerge. Right, I understand what you're saying.
Into the right home.
Just put some tape over your eyes.
Her eyes. My eyes he's talking about.
Put some tape over her tits. Remember them punk rock girls? They just put tape over the tits. They look lovely, don't they? You just have to use your imagination. You don't owe me anything, Karen. There you go. Honestly, there's a love fast going on here now. I love this. Why don't we do the frigging Adam and Karen show tomorrow? I absolutely do. We will meet for a pint. A pint. Sometime and a bit of training. Freaking you two together. I do not want to see you two together. Nobody wants to see you two together, please. Too much information. Keep that to yourselves. That should be a secret rendezvous in the dark. Hang on, Sue. I can read that.
Good.
See that? She's on the ball tonight. I put a stop on Baz when he was 8 months after asking your advice, Chris. And I reckon the lab may be earlier, but we'll ask your advice as I don't want people thinking he's a pointer. You know what? It's about sense and sensibility, isn't it? If you think about it. If he's a sensitive little chap, you don't want to put too much pressure on him, do you? So if he's showing enough drive and desire, yeah, exactly. Be like the Chuckle Brothers. That's exactly what I was thinking. I think you're right, Steve. I think if you've got a sensitive little chap, If he's an hard case, you can put a stop on him quicker, and you can come down firmer on him. But if he's a soft dog and he's got loads of drive, you can nurture, can't you? But still, when you say now stop, the dog's got to stop, and that's how they learn. They learn because of the difference between coming down on them at the right time. I could stand behind him for a photo and I would blend in as his other leg in Cullen family. Miracles do happen. Oh no, don't go there, Karen. Someone else has this week. We've already had that story. He's lost a friend, hasn't he? Wants him to be a decoy. Yeah. Don't go there, Karen. He might not talk to you now. So that's 40 minutes gone. Has anybody got anything else they'd like to talk about? Thank you very much indeed, Steve, for talking about that. At least we've gone on to that subject. And like I said, if you're stopping the dog and giving it command after command, or making it sit, making it wait as a youngster, and you're getting that steadiness into the dog, it may look great. It may look absolutely fantastic. Oh, we've got some great steadiness. You can walk around the corner, disappear for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and come back. Well, if I was training dogs for obedience, I would want that. I could just leave that dog there, go inside, have a cup of tea. When I come back out, the dog's still there. But when I'm training for a gun dog, I want drive, I want desire. Now, we've got 15 people in here. Obviously, a lot of you are watching them. No, we're only joking, Karen. Don't worry. He's got a sense of humour. No, he was only joking. Oh, he's not joking. What was he doing? I'm being serious earlier. You missed that bit, Karen. He was being serious earlier. He's not now. He's in that jokey mode. So what was I saying? Go on, Sue. Not me. What's that noise I make, Sue?
Nothing yet.
Nothing yet. So what I was saying is, if you're putting suppression on that dog, because you need that extra steadiness. Do you really need that extra steadiness? How many of you on here go out of your way to put the dog completely out of your sight, want him sitting there? When you come back, he's still going to be there. Nigel Moore, B. Freaking hell, it's getting difficult tonight. Nigel Moore, B. 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 Never done it. Nor have I, Adam. Nor have I. And so all I'm saying is that as an observation, I've got to look at a video and go, oh, is that really needed? Is that really needed? And if you're doing that with a dog too soon, you're going to suppress it without fail. But even if you're doing it with a dog that's older, is there any need to be ever really needing to do that? You know, look, I've done it in the past, but why? I'm never out of sight really when working, so just pointless exercise to prove a point to myself. The thing is, we're here to ask questions. We are here to question things, and that is how we learn. That's how we move on. And it's nothing negative and nasty. It's just the questions. When I watch a video, somebody sends me in a video, I watch the video and I think, well, why did you do that? Was there really a need to do that? Your dog sat there beautiful. So I wouldn't be working on too much more steadiness when the dog's doing that. If you fire a shot and the dog's running in, you need to work on that steadiness. If your dog's not getting to the fall, when you throw something straight to the fall and it starts to hunt, drop short, you need to work on that. You work on your weaknesses, but you should know your strengths. It's as simple as that. You should know your strengths. But in all the years that I've been training gun dogs, I've never put a dog in that situation that was on the video that I showed. I mentioned it. Why? Excuse me. Still got man flu. And why would you really want to do that in reality, in the real world? I really like that lab in the video. Nice dog, lovely ground for training too. he's got some lovely ground, and he's done a real good job in some areas with the dog. But where he's lacking and he's wanting the dog to run the straight line, he wants the dog to concentrate more. It's because, excuse me, in my opinion, it's the too much steadiness, suppression. I may be wrong because I haven't got a crystal ball, and I can't see what he did with the dog as a youngster. But I agree with what Adam said. In some part of that dog, and for a working dog, you want that sort of steady Eddie. You don't want that crazy lunatic that's pushing you all the time on the edge. It's the owner that needs education to improve the dog more. Yeah, that's the wonderful thing about him putting up the videos and sending in the videos. He's giving everybody in the group the understanding to be able to watch them, appraise them, give your opinion in your head or in the group. It comes down to what each individual wants. Do you want robot? That's the question. I don't know if it's just a robot, Kieran. I think what he wants the best out of the dog, like we all do. But there's a compromise. And if you're just lining the dog up for straight retrieves and you just want to have that dog not coming off a line, you don't want the dog stopping and then asking the dog to hunt for 10, 15 minutes when you've lost the mark. Else you're creating the problem. You're making the dog work it out for itself, use its brain. Now, if you said, I want a robot dog, you would be just sending up the straight lines, doing nothing but the straight lines. And I'm not knocking people who are training dogs for straight lines. What I'm saying is you've got to get the straight lines into the dog first. You've got to get the stopping on the dog sharp. But if you put the stop on the dog too soon, you'll suppress it and it won't be that driven to go out. And the dog that goes out like a lunatic in a straight line is going to win compared to the dog that ambles out in a straight line. Even if the straight line was exactly the same and both dogs got to the full, picked it, unfortunately, you're going to get knocked for the dog with less drive. So if you want to win competition, you can't afford to suppress the drive. But unfortunately, a lot of these people these days, and I'm not being sexist, a lot of women out there with Labradors are shit scared of drive and desire. So they suppress the dog from the start. And then they go from one trainer to another trainer trying to get the drive back into the dog. And they can't. That doesn't mean they can't trial, can't run dogs in tests. But they're not going to be winning. Because the people who are winning aren't destroying the drive. They understand how to train a dog, but retain the drive and desire. I haven't seen this, unfortunately, so I can't comment. But if he's in Corleone, I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic dog, provided you take on everything and constructive feedback positively. The thing is, Karen, it doesn't quite work like that. Because if you've destroyed the dog's desire and drive with suppression, it's harder to get that back into the dog than it is to put the brakes on the dog, to put the control into the dog. If the dog has got into a habit of cocking its leg on the way back in 2 or 3 times, how old is the dog, may I ask? I think 4. I think 4 years old. I think 4 years old. But the whole point of it is it belongs to a keeper. He wants it as a working dog. I totally understand what I'm saying. There has to be compromises. You have to compromise if you want to have the dog as an all-round dog, right? And it's true what he said, and it's true what Adam says. He's the sort of dog that you can keep pushing out, and he'll go out and find more birds for himself. But then the more he does that on a shoot day, he's doing his job. You're then going to struggle when you want him to stay on a straight line. Hard to put drive into the dog that's never had it. Lots of work needs to be put in. If you actually saw videos, Karen, you'd see the dog's got some real qualities, but it's also got weaknesses that you're going to struggle to turn around. And then you've got to say, well, hang on, do I compromise? Do I accept the dog for what he is? Or do I sharpen him up? And he can sharpen him up, but he's got to change his way of thinking. He's got to change the dog's way of thinking, but the owner's got to change his way of thinking. And you're dead right, Adam. And that's the important thing. It is a lovely dog. It will pick birds all day long and be a great companion on a shoot day. And that is important, especially if you're a keeper. And that's the whole point. It's so easy to be negative. It's so easy to be judgmental. But the whole point of it is we're constructive. It's constructive criticism that not only helps the owner understand, because the owner is communicating with me in long conversation on WhatsApp when he puts the videos up. And I agree with him. I agree so much of what he's saying, but he's allowing it to be put up in the group for the group to see that there is compromise if you want an all-rounder. I also bet there'd be a demon on runners. Well, it depends how many times he stops for a piss. I'm joking. I don't know. I mean, I'd rather have a dog with more drive and more desire. But guess what? The drive and desire may come up beautiful when the dog's in the field working on the real thing. But the thing is, as the handler got the control to be able to send the dog in a straight line, the dog doesn't go, hang on, I think I know better. Because if you make the dog think for itself, then you're going to have to lose other areas of your training. Yep, you're right. It is honest advice. And I think that's what people haven't got the access to on the internet, and yet they have over on Patreon with us when they come in, because they're getting breakdowns of the videos, not just the videos for you to see and make your own conclusion. You're getting input into why I feel the advice I'm giving is the right advice. But I think it's really important that everybody in the group has got a right to give their opinion. And at no point has the owner taken offense with what's been said. He's taken it on board and he's making it simpler for the dog and going back to the basics. And I think that will help the dog. But can you turn an old dog round? Can you teach an old dog new tricks? Yes, you can. But it all depends how engrossed, how in depth, embedded the training that you've done, the mistakes you've made, the dog's picked up and learned to compromise, learn to work it out for itself. It will go up the gears on the game. Then if that's the case, Adam, he's got nothing to worry about, has he? He's got nothing to worry about the dog peeing. When I disagree, I want the dog sharp, fast, pacey, without being on the game. So I'm not saying the dog won't go up the gears on the game. A lot of dogs will. We never go out of our way to offend anyone. We all got to learn somewhere. Exactly, Steve. You're dead right. And I think that's the important part of the group. The important videos are the ones that people send in and asking me to critique them. If you just send in a video and you don't ask me to critique it, I'm not going to give you input unless you ask for it. Yeah, this is it. Unless they piss us off. Yeah, we've had a few, haven't we? But only a few. That's the main thing about it, isn't it? Only a few. If you think about the hundreds and hundreds of people that have followed us and gone down that road. Okay, I'm going to ask you a question now. I'm not going to mention any names. I don't know if they're going to watch this, the two people. Got two members of the group who are well known in the group. And if I mention them, I think it might not be the right place to do it by mentioning their names, but I'm going to mention them. And they both came to me for training. We both watched the videos. And you've watched the videos as well in the past, anybody who's watched them. And both are true characters in their own right. Anyway, one of them bought a bitch off me, a Corleone bitch, and they didn't register it. And they contacted me and said, I haven't registered the bitch. It's still in your name, and I want to put it in pup. I said, we have to register it in your name. So send off the paperwork. I haven't got the paperwork. This is what I sent you the paperwork. Yeah, I've lost it. So I had to go to the kennel club and get all the paperwork for him. So that took weeks. Kennel club, an absolute fucking joke. That took weeks. Anyway, in the meantime, he's found a stud dog. Somebody else in our group who's well known, who was very well known, and they got a lot of red in the pedigree for their dog. He liked the dog. He wants the pups. So they decided to have a litter. So I think the discussion was, I'll have a pup. And then something happened. One of his dogs died, and he decided it wasn't the right time to have a pup. So I think he wanted the stud fee. And now the person has had, I think six pups. And he's not paid a stud fee. And the other person rung me yesterday and was giving me the lowdown about, and I've been trying to ring him 4 or 5 times. He hasn't come back to me. I think, what do you think? Do you think it's right? Do you think it's wrong? I said, well, the normal situation is the price of a pup, or you organise a stud fee beforehand and you pay a stud fee. I said, but at the end of the day, it's down to you two to sort out. What's your opinion? Do you think that if he's now saying he doesn't want a pup because his situation's changed, not financial situation's changed, do you think the other person should offer a stud fee? Do you think for harmony you should do that? At the end of the day, I don't want to be drawn into a freaking big argument between two people. It's not my fight, is it? But pay the man, yeah. And so I've said, technically, if let's just say you're advertising the pups for 1,250 quid each. Technically, if he got the choice, hasn't he? A pup or the stud fee. Now, I've never ever charged anybody 1,250 quid for a stud fee. Never. I don't think I've charged more than 400 quid for a stud fee in all the years I've ever bred dogs. And on average, it may be 300 quid. Because I've never been greedy. So if anyone ever wanted to use one of my stud dogs, I've always done, here, you can have it for 300 quid. You can have it for half the price of a pup, roughly. But technically, if you want to push, you're entitled to that. They are grown men. They should be honest with each other. But yes, he should pay him. Now, the thing is, it makes me feel a little bit awkward because I brought them together. And they used to train together. But I think to myself, they should sort their own freaking argument out. But if he's rung him and he's tried to ring him and he's not gone back. I think he's a little bit naughty. And so Christopher. Hi, Christopher. How do I get on the podcast? What podcast? Sue knew I'd say that. Podcast. This is a live feed. What podcast? I don't know. So what I'm saying is I've never fallen out with anyone over the price of a stud fee. I did have a mate of mine who used to let me have free stud fees, and he let me have free stud fees because he just didn't really care about it. It was his dog. Yeah, you can have stud fee. And then I sold the pups, I think 600 quid each, and I give him 600 quid for a stud fee because I said, yeah, I had 8 pups. I sold one. There's 600 quid. Oh, magic! Thanks a lot. But he didn't ask for it. I don't think that I would pay 1,250 quid for a stud fee. Ignorant, maybe there's something going on behind closed doors in their life. You never know. I'm not judging anyone's side, but me too. Well, I'll just let you know. I mean, I've not mentioned their names. I'm not going to mention their names. I've actually then today phoned the person who's supposed to have done the dirty, not offered a stud fee, and normally he'd pick up the phone, and he knows my number, and I've rung him 4 times. He's not answering. I'm not going to chase him. But all I would have said to him is, listen, at the end of the day, you've had 6 pups. Just reach out. There's no point in falling out. Life's too short. Pay up. If that was the agreement, pup or stud fee, pay up. Not having a pup, you can sell the pup, give him the money for the pup. But I wouldn't expect him to give 1,250 quid if that's what he's going to sell the pups at. And I've spoke to the guy who's not happy about his dog being used. He's in agreement. He doesn't want that. He'd be happy with 400 quid. It's a gesture, isn't it? It's goodwill gesture. And I think that's what it's about. And so I'm a marriage guidance counsellor, if you think about it today. I'm a mediator. But what I'm not doing is continue ringing him. Because once I've made the effort, if he can't be bothered, then I'll go back to the guy and say, look, he's not come back to me. I've done my best. Exactly, Adam. A goodwill, thank you. A few hundred quid goes a long way. I agree. And that's why I thought I'd mention that. See me on. Freaking gardening. She's got me. Look at my arms, look. On my hands and knees. See, look. Unbelievable. You know what the noise is, isn't you? She's got me on my hands and knees, bent over in the garden going, ah! Stop it, Sue. She's laughing in the background. So anyway, on that note, what's the score? Have I freaking won money? Sounds like a dream. A wet dream. I don't mind gardening naked. 300 quid for a KC study is fair enough. If you can't afford it, if you explain, don't hide. 1-1, 76 minutes, Dave. Hey, thanks for that, eh? Did Wales qualify, Dave? What's it like? I can't believe that Scotland are 1-1. 76 minutes. I'm freaking going, you lot. You've had your hour. I'm going to watch and see if I can earn, I think, 60 quid in it if it's 2-1. I've backed them to win 2-1. Good night, all. Thanks for tuning in. Not many in here tonight. I don't blame them. They're watching the Welsh. Not the Welsh, the Scots. The Scots. The Welsh aren't there, are they? Good night, all. Thanks a lot. Great. See you next week, Sunday.